Hey, what's going on, everybody? This is John J Gaming on the mic, coming at you guys with another episode of the Cincinnati Royals here in NBA 2K21, and we are here in the off season. We just finished our very first year in the NBA, and I'll tell you what, guys, we had a pretty rough year, man. Not gonna even cap to you guys. 19-63 is never a good thing, but we did finish with one of the worst records in the NBA, and we should have a chance to get a really high draft pick here. So should be a great offseason. We are only going up from here, so do me a favor and make sure you smash that like button for me, as well as hit subscribe if you do happen to be brand new to the channel and like what you see as well. But that being said, man, let's go ahead and get into this offseason for sure. Let's go ahead and start with the player retirements, just to see if anybody notable did retire. It looks like it was 1 year late, but Vince Carter does retire in the game. We also have Jamal Crawford and Paul Gasol. They also played their last games in the NBA as well. I have a bunch of guys, that I remember watching growing up, retire, which is always kind of sad to see. Tyson Chandler is one of them. Same thing with Nene. Kyle Korver, man, I remember him on those Cavs teams that went to the finals. That's sad to see him go. Udonis Haslem calling it quits. J.R. Smith, J.J. Redick, Marvin Williams, don't really care about. Joakim Noah, a Cincinnati Royal at the beginning of the season before being traded off to the Portland Trail Blazers. He does retire from the NBA formally. And then we also have guys like Fivo Sevolucia, Jared Dudley, Marco Bellinelli, Taj Gibson. I remember playing him a couple of times this season. Just a bunch of dudes I remember watching growing up. But salute to all of these guys, and hopefully nothing but the best for them going forward. Although we also had a one staff person retire on the Trailblazers, the assistant coach in Denargo Pargo. I probably butchered that, but we do have one person retiring on the coaching staff, but it's none of our coaches, so at least there's that. So after going through the player and staff retirements, it is now time to look into the Hall of Fame inductions, and we do have one person that did make it into the Hall of Fame. Vince Carter, and rightfully should, will be in the Hall of Fame, playing over 1,500 games, averaging 16.7 points a game, 4 rebounds, 3 assists over what was a great NBA career. You'd certainly love to see it. So Vince Carter, he's the only person that retires that does make it to the Hall of Fame. And now it comes down to this, the draft lottery. This is what we've been working for. We're gonna see here what pick we're gonna get. We're gonna watch the whole thing live for you guys, so we'll see what happens here, man. So we are projected to have the number 1 pick, but we only have a 13.9% odds to get the number 1 pick. Now, I'm hoping that at the very least we are in the top 3. So we'll see what happens here. We'll go ahead and get it started. Don't want any chaos. It looks like Trailblazers, they're going to be number 16. So, all right, nothing there. Grizzlies projected with the 15th overall pick, and that's going to be the case as well. Going to be at number 15. Number 14 is projected to go to the Houston Rockets, surprisingly, and they will be retaining that 14th spot as well. So everyone's going what they need to do so far. As we go into the 13th pick, which is projected to go to Milwaukee Bucks, actually, and it looks like Milwaukee is going to get that pick as well. As now we got the 12th overall pick, projected to go to Denver Nuggets, who was last in the Western Conference at one point, by the way. They do get the 12th pick as well, but nothing changing so far. This is what we love to see here, as the Wizards will also have the 11th pick. Let's go. All right, number 10 is the Spurs. Is supposed to be the Spurs. Will it be the Spurs? Yes, it will. So everybody going in here. Everything going according to plan so far. Okay, see Thunder? Yep, they're number 9. Alright, we're holding the form. No surprises yet. Although they also have the 8th overall pick, and they also land there as well. That's from the Miami Heat. So that's what we're expecting so far. As now we go into the top 7. Utah Jazz are here, and they do end up landing the number 7 overall pick as well. They have 11 lottery selections to their name. As we're down to the top 6. Will we see the Chicago Bulls? We will. This is good for us. This is really good for us. Will we get the number 1 pick? We're in the top 5. We have to be, I want to get at least in the top 3. New York Knicks? No, it's the Detroit Pistons. The Pistons are in the 5th overall pick, which means the Knicks are in the top 3. So what are we going to see here? Hornets? And it's Seattle. Seattle is dropped to number 4. That means we're guaranteed in the top 3. It's between us, the Knicks, and the Bulls. Who are we going to be? Alright, the Hornets and the Knicks. As the Knicks are number 3. The Knicks are number 3. Okay. So it's between us and the Hornets. Who's going to get the number 1 pick? Who's going to get it? Oh my goodness, come on. Who's going to be number 2? Who's going to be number 2? And it's the Hornets. The Hornets are number 2, which means the Cincinnati Royals are going to be the 1st overall pick in the NBA draft. Let's go, baby! Let's go! We got some generational talents, and we needed that number 1 pick. And thankfully, the lottery gods heard our call here today, man. And we will be picking number 1 overall in the NBA draft. Let's go, man! I'm excited. You love to see it, man. So since we did indeed get the 1st overall pick in this year's draft, this is what we're looking like we have now. We do only have 1 pick in this draft. Granted, it is the number 1 overall pick. However, we do have the 2025 first round pick from the Utah Jazz that we could use as a potential bargaining chip to move up and get a 2nd pick from somebody. The only thing is, our 2nd round pick does belong to the Utah Jazz, which is probably which is the 33rd pick, I would believe. So kind of sucks that we don't have that for this year, but again, we could use that 2025 pick in order to try to move up and get a 2nd guy in this draft class, if in the case that somebody decides to start falling, because I know we need some more wing players going forward as well. But you know, I'm excited, man. We got the 1st overall pick. So now it's officially time for us to go ahead and start scouting, and this is what our thing looks like, and this is why I was so excited. There's 3 guys in this draft class that are really good, that could really help us out right away. Ron Valabidi, who is a custom recruit, who's listed at 7'1" with a 7'5" wingspan, plays center, can shoot a little bit. Then there's also guys like Kenneth Howard, who's a shooting guard, and Gary Jenkins, you know, who's 7'7", you know, with an 8-foot wingspan from UTEP, who is pretty insane as well on top of that. These guys could help us out, but Ron Valabidi is the biggest prize, and I can't wait to bring him onto the squad. Oh my goodness gracious. I am so excited that we got, you know, some of these guys coming onto our squad. It's going to be fantastic, and we really do need it for sure to try to help us out moving forward. This is also the time to let us know that there is a Royals trainer did see some injury concerns. Emmanuel Gonzalez has a concern with his knee that is considered to be serious and that we shouldn't draft. Same thing with Robin May with his eye. I don't know what's going on with his eye. Maybe just doesn't have the best vision. But I mean, if he gets that NBA contract, you know, shouldn't be too bad. As well as Randall Pope, but looks like nobody we're seriously targeting. So that's really good news going forward. As we'll go ahead and go to the draft combine real quick, see who's that. Dana Madison, a 3-and-D guard playing at that shooting guard position, had a sub-3 3/4 sprint. That is seriously impressive. Not too far behind him is Jonathan Fousen with 3.0. Tyreek Welgana 3.02. Christopher Nightiri 3.02. Let's see. Check out the lane and agility time. Dane Madison killing it there. Pat McDaniels, Garrison James, and BJ Cole Jr. all tied with 44 inches verts. And then Gary Jenkins actually has the biggest bench, 27 reps, and he is also the guy that's listed at 7'7", only a 34-inch vert, but that's not too terrible, and also with a nice little standing 15-point jumper. So you love to see that. So that's really nice to see there. As you know, we got some very high quality prospects here in this draft, man. I am certainly excited for it, but you already know what we need to do. We need to narrow it down, and there's only a handful of guys that I really want to bring in. I want to bring in the top 3, obviously. I want to bring in Ron Valbidi, Kenneth Howard, and Gary Jenkins. I want to bring all of them cats on the squad, as I need to also take a look at how our roster is looking, as we got some guys, man. Well, we got some promising guys on the team, you know, and I certainly love to see that for sure. And then I think I'm going to spend the rest on maybe some wing players. We'll definitely give Brian Horn an invitation, and then same thing with Robin May. Actually, we'll give him an invite as well. On top of that, and then after that, I'm just gonna go ahead and do best available. George Sanchez, you can come through as well. Who else do we have here? Yeah, we'll just go down the line. Just call ourselves a day. Do that. This is what our team workouts went out with. Giacomo Main, but he's not a person that we're really worried about. I will really want to work at these centers. The centers, Ron Valbidi looks like a 3'11" guy, 43-inch vertical. For a guy that's 7 foot, you absolutely love to see it. You know, this has to be the guy that we need to go with for sure moving forward. Good bench as well, so that tells me that he's a pretty strong cat for being a rookie. So yeah, man, I'm looking at Ron Valbidi. He looks like that man. So that being said, my strategy here is, you know, we got this NBA draft coming up right now. I'm excited, man. I am really excited to see what goes down. We'll go ahead. Let's go into draft night, baby. Alright, so I thought about it a little bit, and I think I now know what I want to try and do. Obviously, I think Ron Valbidi, he's probably going to be our first overall pick. It seems like he's a consensus guy, and, you know, don't need to reinvent the wheel too terribly much. But then after that, I also want to try to pick up a small forward in this draft as well, if we can move up and do it. Just because, you know, I like Dylan Weinwer, but I don't like Dylan Weinwer as a starter, personally, from my experience. So, want to go ahead and get another small forward in here, because we only have 2 of them anyways. So we could always use a third. Want to try to get like a Brian Horn, or if I can do it, get like Clay, one of these guys here that are, you know, chilling in the middle right here. You know, should be interesting, man, to see how it turns out. I like what I see here overall. But yeah, man, let's get into this draft and see what we can do. Alright, guys, we are here with the 2022 NBA draft, or 2021, probably 2021. And you know, we'll go ahead and check out what's going on with the draft boards real quick. Ron Valbidi, he still looks like he's gonna be our guy, and so, you know, we don't need to waste too much time here, man. First overall pick in the NBA 2K21 draft. Our first overall pick is gonna be Ron Valbidi. Welcome to the squad, man. Coming from Ukraine, the savior of our franchise right here, man. And he looks like absolutely oozing with potential. Gonna be the type of player that most scouts will stake their reputation on, and that's what we're gonna do. We're gonna put our franchise, we're gonna build around this kid right here. He looks special. So now we'll just wait and see if anything else happens for us in this draft. I'll cut back to you guys if we do indeed make a move here in this draft. Alright, guys, so Robin May fell outside the top 10. He's a small forward that I am targeting, so I'm going to go ahead and start trying to trade up to get this guy. Going to try to do our thing, but it looks like they're not taking the bait. We'll go ahead and see if they can remove Carmelo Anthony from this deal, see if that helps at all. And looks like they have a counter offer for us here, and it looks like it's a 2023. We trade our first round pick, a Cincinnati swap worse, for a 2023 first round pick slot best. Man. Man, that's a tough one. 2023, that is 2 years from now. I don't know if we'll be ready to compete by then. I'm not sure if I feel comfortable with that. I'm just gonna cancel that trade, and hopefully they just don't get him. Please don't get our guy. Please don't get our guy. Let's see what the Wizards do decide to end up picking. Please don't be Robin May. And they actually trade their pick. They trade to the Atlantic Hawks. So what ended up happening is the Hawks receive the 11 overall pick and Carmelo Anthony. And then the Wizards in turn, they receive the next year's first round pick from the OKC Thunder, and then also the 2023 pick from the Atlanta Hawks that is going to be top 3 protected. So that's it. That's crazy, man. That is crazy for sure. So Atlanta is now going to be going for that 11 overall pick, and they go with Dana Madison. So now we'll go ahead try to trade with the these Nuggets. Nuggets have the 12th overall pick. We'll see if we can trade them. They're only asking for next year's first round pick, and in exchange we get a 12th overall pick, and then we also get Henrik Stevenson, who is a European stash right now. He's the 28th overall pick from 2019 and is ready to come over here. We'll see if we can do it, man. I don't know. Next year, I don't think we're projected to go, but we're going to try to make this happen. Let's see if we can try this 25 pick. See if we can get rid of Stevenson and then try maybe our second overall pick. See if that does the trick. They do have a counter offer, and it looks like they want Emmanuel Quickie, he's 22. He's a second round pick, his first season. I don't know. This is a huge asking price. I don't want to trade away our first round picks. So we're just gonna hope for the best. Let's see what we can make happen here. Oh man, this is tough. This is tough for sure. Who do they get? They get Rigoberto Ramirez Jr. So Robin May is still on the board. So we're just gonna go ahead and try and see if we can go ahead and see if we can trade with the Bucks. All right, the Bucks end up going with Tyreek Welgana YT. Robin May is still on the board. So you already know what we need to do, man. Rockets. All right, so I'm gonna try the same trade deal here, see if that does the trick. And it looks like they don't, but they have a counter offer. They want a first round pick unprotected, but then in exchange we get a 2022 first round pick it's a top 10 protected, and then also their first round pick this year. I think we can go ahead and I think we're going to do this. We're going to get 2 first round picks back. We get a first round pick to play with for next season as well. So yeah, we're going to do it. We're going to do this trade for the Houston Rockets. They agreed to our trade offer. Cool. So we're on the clock again. We'll see who's still left on the board that's in the top 10. We could go with Robin May, he's only 21 years old. We've seen who else is also available. 23, that's a little bit old for me, but Robin May, while not as good, looks like somebody, that has an all-star ceiling and is very comfortable. He can be a good 3-and-D guy for his right away and can grow into an all-star as well. And from UCLA, I think I'm going to go with Robin May, man. Welcome to the squad, dude. Robin May from UCLA, 14th overall pick. Welcome to the squad, my guy. And he was, look at that, projected to go much higher. We are pleased laying him here. And now what we're going to do, we're going to sim to the end of the draft just to see how we ended up doing. Alright guys, so we finished up the draft, and this is what the final results are looking like. Ron Valabidi, first overall pick, was a can't-miss prospect. So we, of course, picked him number 1. And look at his stats. 85 overall as a 20-year-old rookie. Oh my goodness, that man is going to be special when it's all said and done. And then as for our 14th pick, we did pick up Robin May, and we did his overall's a little bit lower than I anticipated. I'm not gonna lie to you, 72. So that's not great. But Robin May can help us out. He can at least crack some playing time right away. He's just gonna need a little bit of time to develop. But I like what I'm seeing overall from this draft class, particularly for Ron Valabidi. He's gonna be our number 1 option here, day 1. Back to a basket guy. I'm gonna love to see what we can do with this kid. Alright, so we're here with the team and player options for this year, and there's 3 guys I definitely want to keep. I want to keep Josh Green, I want to keep Grant Williams, and I want to keep Dylan Weinberg. Juan Hernandez, you know, seemed like a guy. He didn't even do anything for us this year. He played 1 total minute over the course of 82 games. That was even after we called him up from the G League. As for this guy right here, you know, he averaged less than 5 points per game. Shot almost less than 30% from the field, 21 from free. Didn't even have that great of a field goal free throw percentage as well. So it just seems like someone that we don't really want to keep per se. Dylan Weinward, he's showing some promise for sure, and I want to keep him on the squad. Same thing with Grant Williams. Grant Williams can be a little bit of a floor stretchers for us as well, and you know, I like he's a nice rim runner kind of guy. And then Josh Green, honestly, he really showed some promise his rookie season. I really love to see what he can do moving forward. He might be our starting shooting guard, by the way. At least I'm hoping for it. It's between him and DeAndre Melton. We'll see what ends up happening there. But yeah, I think we're going to let these 2 walk, and then these 3 will keep on the team for right now. As we now go ahead and check out some other options that are around the league. Got some notable guys decline their player options. That includes Kawhi Leonard. So he's going to be an unrestricted free agent. Same thing with Paul George as well. Just looking around to see if there's any other notable guys. Spencer Dinwiddie, he's a solid player. He declined his player option as well. And then it looks like Julius Randle and Michael Porter Jr. They actually declined their options. Hang on. Wow, so Michael Porter Jr. They declined his team option. That is shocking, to say the least. And then same thing with Josh Richardson, his player option. That's a no-go. So we might have to go for what's his name? Michael Porter Jr. We might have to bring him onto the squad. You know, he's too good of a talent, and he's only 23. He's something that we might definitely look out for. All right, so something else that we ended up doing, we got some qualifying offers, and 2 guys that we're again gonna let walk away is Deontay Byrne and Melvin Fraser Jr. You know, neither of them, I don't really see them as a future of our team, or at least in our future plans, so we're just going to let them walk. We did try to trade away Melvin Fraser Jr., but just couldn't find a suitable partner. It just happens to be like that. Tony Bradley, we're going to try to do extension offer. Same thing with Zach Collins. Same thing with Kyle Guy as well, and DeAndre Melton. Kyle Guy, you know, I want to see if he can develop just a little bit more, but I don't want to do more than a 1-year deal, just because, you know, he is pretty low. But when he did get in, you know, he was at least like half decent. You know, he got a few points. You know, he can make some things happen for sure when he's on the floor. You know, but yeah, I think I'm gonna go ahead and do this. So I'm gonna write this down so I can actually remember it as we get into free agency. Okay, so this is what our roster is currently looking like after we made it through. At least before free agency, this is what we got going on right now. So we not counting the guys that are, you know, that we gave qualifying offers to. What I want to do, I want to get a point guard, I want to get a shooting guard, I want to get a small forward since we didn't have anybody give a qualifying offers to, particularly a starting caliber one. I don't think Dylan Weinward as a starter, I don't really am a huge fan of the idea. Same thing with power forward, and then get some backup centers. Backup center, I should say, for Ron Valbeedy, so that he doesn't have to play 40 minutes a game. So, I want to go for younger guys, because we're still kind of in this rebuilding mode. But, you know, if we can get quality guys that are more NBA caliber players, that'll really help our cause moving forward. Alright, so the first thing that I do want to do is, we are here in free agency with the moratorium, and we only have 3 offers to play with, you know, at least on the first day. So what I want to do right away, Michael Porter Jr., I want to bring him onto the squad as soon as possible. We're going to negotiate a contract with him. He's asking for a 4-year deal, and we're going to go ahead and offer him that, see that, do like a player option as well. Actually, no, we're not going to do that. We're going to just do a 4-year deal, and you know, see if he takes that. He'll be a little bit more expensive for us, but like, he's a young player, we should do that if we can help it. And now we go, we'll go ahead and see what else we can do with our thing. So another guy that we are going to go after is Trey Lyles. He looks like a stretch 4. He can stretch the 4 from us from that position, and it looks like a cheaper guy that we can go after. He's only asking for a 2-year deal, so we're going to go ahead and give that to him. I have no problems with that whatsoever. So we'll give a contract to Trey Lyles. And then finally, on that younger end of point guards, what I do want to do is get a point guard, and I want to go for Emmanuel Mudiay. He can sit as a backup for Tyrese Halliburton. He seems like a solid guy that could do what we need him to do for say. So yeah, I think I'm gonna go ahead and give him a contract as well. He can create his own shot from the bench. That could help us, you know, as a bench guy. And he's also only asking for a 2-year deal, so I'm gonna go ahead and offer him that contract, and then just hope and pray to see if that works out for us. Alright guys, so the first day of free agency actually went pretty well for us. All 3 guys that we went after are going to go ahead and signed with us. Michael Porter looks like he'll agree to our contract. Same thing with Trey Wiles, and same thing with Emmanuel Mudiay as well. So love to see the infusion of talent that's coming into the squad. So that takes care of small forward, power forward, and point guard. Still want to bring in one more shooting guard, and then I want to bring a backup center in for the aforementioned our first overall pick, Ron Valverde. So we'll go ahead and see if we can do that as well. So Malik Beasley is also available. He's a sharpshooter for us. He can also spread the floor. The thing that makes me nervous is he's not a great defensive player whatsoever. But he's a shooter, and you know, we could always use more shooters on the squad. We did struggle with scoring. I think he would be a really nice role player for us. We're gonna go negotiate a contract with him, only asking for a 2-year deal. So I'm gonna go ahead and give Malik Beasley a contract. And then the last thing that I want to do is I want to get a backup center. See if we can find any young centers that aren't restricted free agents. We'll see if we can make that happen. And there is one center that we can go after, Jahlil Okafor. He looks like a promising center. Well, he's a younger center, I should say. Was a former, you know, top 5 pick. Was a 3rd overall pick back in 2015. He's had a tumultuous career, just at a place where the NBA went in a bad direction, but he can still be a good back to the basket finisher and has a nice mid-range jumper. So that being said, I'm gonna go ahead and try to sign Jahlil Okafor as well. And he's only asking for a 2-year deal on top of that, so gonna offer him a contract to go with that as well, and still on the younger end as well, so he'll kind of fit in with our timeline. Okay, so we actually did end up you know, Malik Beasley and Jahlil Okafor are actually also going to sign off with us as well. So, you know, we're going to bring in a heck of a free agency class if this all holds up. Michael Porter Jr. headlines it, but we'll also have Trey Wiles. We'll also have Emmanuel Mudiay. We have Malik Beasley. We have Jahlil Okafor. You know, we got a nice class of free agents coming in, and I am super excited for it going forward. You absolutely love to see it. Okay, guys, so we made it through a few more days of free agency, and it looks like DeAndre Melton actually got an offer from the Pistons, and it looks like it's a 2-year, $14.5 million contract. You know, DeAndre Melton, he's a guy that I really do like, and even if he doesn't start, if it's Malik Beasley, if it's him starting at that 2-guard position, I want to go ahead and match this because I would really love to have somebody like him on our squad going forward. So we're actually going to go ahead and match this deal. Alright, so what we also have happening, we made to the second to the last day of free agency, and Zach Collins is prepared to accept an offer from the what you would call it, the Raptors, and they're doing a 2-year, $17 million deal. Zach Collins was a guy that we traded for, so we're also going to match this as well. And we still have a decent amount of cap room as well on top of that, as we'll go ahead and get into the last day of free agency. As it looks like Tony Bradley's going to be joining the squad, and then same thing with Kyle Guy. So here now is what the roster is going to be looking like after we got done with free agency period. But before we went through the before we go through player progressions, this is what our point guard situation is looking like. Tyrese Halliburton. Then we also have Emmanuel Mudiay, who's a new guy on the team, and then Kyle Guy. He'll still be around as a developmental guy and a cheap, you know, 3rd-string point guard. At shooting guard, we have Malik Beasley, and then some solid backups in Josh Green and DeAnthony Melton there on the team as well. At small forward, Michael Porter Jr., he's our best free agent acquire. He's only 23 years old and is an insane free level scorer. And then Dylan Weinwer will be coming off the bench. Same thing with Robin May, who will need some time to develop. Power forward Trey Lyles is going to be joining the squad. He'll be fighting for Zach Collins for the starting power forward position, but don't count out Grant Williams. He can get up in there as well when it's all said and done. And then finally at center we have Ron Valabidi, who's the undisputed best player on the team right now. And then Julio Okafor, he's out here. Will be fighting for Tony Bradley for the backup center position. So this is what the player progression ended up turning out for us. Ron Valabidi, he's going to be our best player on the team. Michael Porter Jr. and Tyrese Halliburton showing good promise though. Tyrese Halliburton, biggest improvement, up 4 overall points. You know, really improved his shooting as a whole, as well as the perimeter defense and playmaking as well. He really learned a lot in his first season in the NBA. Emmanuel Mudiay and Julio Okafor took a little bit of a hit, particularly with Emmanuel Mudiay, who really is basically worthless in inside defense now. Josh Green gets up 3 overall points. He improves his shooting, and then also is a very good perimeter defender, better rebounder, and even a better athlete on top of that. And then just seeing who else improved. Zach Collins, he's up 1 overall point. He's now a C+ for inside defense and physicality as well. Grant Williams, he's up 3 overall points as well. He improved basically across the board. Same thing with Dylan Weinberg, also improved across the board. Would have loved to see more for the perimeter defense, but it is what it is. And then Kyle Guy, you know, he puts in some improvement as well. So yeah, man, I like where this team is going. You know, we don't have any stars yet. Although Ron Valabidi, he can easily be that star player for us. We'll just have to go ahead and wait and see going forward, man. We'll see what happens. So the next thing that we end up finding out is that we do get a reveal of the All-Star Game. It looks like it's going to be out in LA for this upcoming season. And we also are going to do what we did the same thing before the first season, going to auto-generate rookies. And I do that just because I want to give you guys more say in what these draft classes look like. So I do have a template in the pinned comment down below, as well as in my Discord. Go ahead and check both those out if you want to go ahead and get a custom prospect, you know, for this draft class that we got going on here for sure. As we'll go ahead and go to training camp now, and we have 1 training camp option. Not sure who I want to spend it on. I think I want to spend it on Josh Green. He was somebody that was very promising for sure. Don't know if I want to throw it down on DeAndre Mellon or not, because it looks like Josh Green is on the inside track to get that that second thing, that's backup shooting guard spot. Could be a starter for us too, matter of fact. I wouldn't be, you know, upset at that either. I'm just kind of looking to see, you know, where we need the most help in. And, you know, we'll go ahead and send Josh Green to basketball. We'll go ahead to basketball 101, and we'll send Josh Green there. See how that goes out. You know, get his IQ up. You know, all these things. You know, home defense is up, perimeter defense. You know, that's up to an 80 as well. As we'll go ahead now, advance to next season. And we are here, baby. Let's get it. Alright guys, so we are now here in Season 2 of the Cincinnati Royals Dynasty here on NBA 2K21, and our opening night, we go on the road to play against the Brooklyn Nets, and that's going to be a test for us for sure. Kyrie Irving's on the squad, Kevin Durant's on the squad, Chris Levert's solid role player, DeAndre Jordan can do some work. They got some dudes on this roster for sure, and we are going to be tested when we go up against these guys. So it's gonna be interesting, man. So if you're excited about, you know, brand new season of Cincinnati Royals, do me a favor and please smash that like button, as well as hit subscribe if you have to be brand new to the channel. This is John J. Game on the mic. Hope you guys are all having a wonderful day. Take care, everybody.